All right, welcome back, everybody. So, quarter three is here. All right, so our first unit is about essentially the Industrial Revolution and the growth of the United States after the War of 1812. So, quick reminder one of the effects of that conflict that we ended last 9 weeks with is a rise in American industry. And particularly, that's happening because the United States wants to limit its dependence. I was trying to think of a better word for this. Our dependence upon foreign manufactured goods, in this case, British manufactured goods, because Britain had been really good at making manufactured goods for quite a while. So I mentioned the Industrial Revolution a moment ago. If you think back to sixth grade, you would have learned about this idea of the Industrial Revolution. That had happened about 50, 60 years ago or so in this time period in Britain. So that's why I said they've been ahead of the game. They've been really good at this. Actually, I take that back even longer than 50, 60 years, because that's part of why they colonized parts of the world that helped them begin to industrialize. So we as a nation are looking to try and find our own way to manufacture our own goods and not rely on Great Britain. And with the trade embargo business that happened with the War of 1812, that helps also encourage Americans to begin looking in that direction. So, with the Industrial Revolution, a quick recap in case you don't remember from 2 years ago in sixth grade, which is fine. Essentially, what's happening is we are changing how things are made. So instead of things being made by hand, at home, by people, we're now building factories where machines are going to be producing goods. So in this example here of the mom at home spinning wool or linen to create clothing for the family to wear, versus now this is being done in a factory on a mass scale to mass produce larger quantities of clothing for people to go out and buy. That's essentially the change that's happening here. Now, in America, it happens pretty late because Britain was being, well, frankly, very secretive in regards to how their machines work. They want to keep the control over. They don't want other people to learn about it and then have to compete with them. I mean, that makes sense. If you find an awesome, what was I going to say? I had an idea and I lost it. But anyway, it'll probably come back to me later on towards the end. So in America, it primarily begins by one person, Samuel Slater. Samuel Slater brings back the idea of the first textile machines to the United States. Well, how's he able to do this when I just mentioned that Britain was very secretive in regards to how they work? Well, essentially, Samuel Slater is an industrial spy. He stole the plans to these machines. Now, he's not stuffing away in his close the actual plans of making them, because that could obviously be found upon search. What he actually does is he commits to memory all the pieces, all the parts, how they interwork, how they connect to make these textile machines. So this would be, I don't recommend this, but I always share this every year. If you later on tonight went into your parents' garage, open up the hood to the car, and you disassemble the entire engine, keeping in mind every individual piece, where they all go, the size, the shape, the dimension to recreate them later, and then you put that machine back together from memory, that's exactly what Samuel Slater had done. He committed all of this to memory, so when he got back to America, he could then recreate his own textile machine all from up here. Again, don't take apart your parents' car. They probably won't be very happy with you. So Samuel Slater is considered the father of the American Industrial Revolution. There's going to be a number of what are going to be called Slater houses, as you see right here, where he's going to build these factories inside these buildings. And you'll notice that there's a little bit of a waterfall happening right outside this building. That's because this is used to power the machines inside the factory. Many factories back in Europe and now here in the United States, many of these early factories are going to be built mainly in the Northeast. And there's a main reason why it's in the northeastern portion of the United States. It's their geography. The geography allowed these factories to happen, primarily rivers. Fast-flowing rivers are used to provide power for these early machines. And a second reason why these factories are built along river routes or waterways is for the fact that these cities are natural port cities. So that means the factory can mass produce content or mass produce material, and then it can be easily shipped out somewhere else across the country or around the world, all right there through the water route. So when I talk about power, you have this graphic right here. So if you've been to Conner Prairie or a colonial recreation place like Conner Prairie before, you've probably seen like this massive giant water wheel inside a stream or a riverbed. And the purpose is, as the water is flowing downstream, it moves this larger outside wheel that's connected with this drive shaft to another wheel inside the factory. And now you see it's got moving parts going on. Think of this like a bicycle, which I'm pretty sure all of you have ridden a bicycle before. Your feet move the pedals. Those pedals move the chain. Those chains move the back wheel that propel you all forward. Your feet are the power. In this case, the water is the power source. That is what is driving these factories, these machines created by Samuel Slater. So I'm going to pause here and I'll come back into what exactly is being made and then talk about another individual that helps kickstart this industrial revolution for America.